As someone that lives in Utah, so I don't.
So ready for me or not?
I usually don't.
Also, this would have
I
been
was
perfect.
I'm about to say.
Vacancy.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Right?
My best is.
And a good thesis is a done thesis.
It's done.
Where is that?
No, I forgot. I had it.
I need to ask Sugi about budget stuff.
Harvey wants to go ask me.
Charlotte?
Take a seat.
Buddy, hello, I missed you.
Yeah?
Yes.
Exciting, exciting.
Yeah.
Citizen here, it's a great thing.
It's a great day.
Yeah, he gives me all the-
Somebody moves to table my resolution to the next meeting. I'm gonna stand up and go, point of order, Mr. Speaker.
You got the
Table-
invitation
Motion to
to-
table, does not specify when to hit the item next.
Because I
That's a motion to postpone.
especially.
It could die on the table if you water it.
Yeah.
I can fill it.
So I wouldn't.
So, wait up.
I would.
They had 199 registered.
We can all kill it right now.
Yes.
If nobody says anything after the resolution goes through, then yeah.
Yep.
Technically, the resolution is
There'll be a
resolution,
lot.
so if nothing
I
happens
got you.
and there's no debate on
I
it
can't
after it
believe
goes
you ran that marathon.
through, and then after the end, it comes to a
I
vote.
mean, you're crazy.
So I'll point of order if it doesn't come.
You're crazy bad.
No, it shouldn't. I want them to be
That's
first.
That's actually insane.
I realized that.
Yeah, I want them
I don't think I've been
postponed,
through
so that
mine.
way, we have a chance to make,
That is insane.
Yeah.
I do count every time I miss. You know how to make amendments and stuff?
yeah, well, so, but with these, there's,
What's new with
there's the
Megan?
first and second.
Nothing, I just got back from the Twin Cities. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, like just now.
Then it automatically gets put in, nobody
Like 3:30.
So,
If you're able to bring up like a finished version, it's only if we put that version
No,
up
I
and then.
wasn't.
and then make suggestions, yeah. But I don't have my second here.
What?
Senator
Topic?
Aleda?
No.
off-campus senator
That's
usually sits over there.
Oh, you're teasing.
Wait, I had three names. I'm not here to with
What did I say?
I got.
Oh my
I don't
god.
talk to everyone.
Wait. Were you at another campus last week too?
Yeah, I was at
Pull
Stevens
up this
Point last
agenda, am I right?
Did you just stop by home at that point too?
Well.
Like 2 hours from my house. Just in east of Madison.
You're right.
Actually, it was a grind.
Yeah.
That's all.
And my
Last time.
today.
What river?
Anything to
Mississippi?
celebrate.
Yeah.
I'm like 2.5 hours east of the Mississippi.
Okay, never mind. It's the link. It's the link.
Lake.
Fix it.
Actually, never mind. Just finish that. I have no idea.
I'm like,
I think I'm capping my hours.
She booked me.
so Steve, so
I'm not doing
I
anything.
live pretty much along the same
I'm doing it
as Mankato, just 5 hours. But Stevens Point is like 2 hours directly north of
So
where I'm
Trenton
from.
was a red light center and he no longer knows.
And Whitewater, we're lane for like an hour and a half directly south.
Don't need to hear about the part where he was forced to resign. Yeah, it's fine.
I can have
Oh, yeah?
I do have Alberta. I
know. Should have been that.
You know it's gonna be a good meeting when I last week was.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was red light.
One was.
Please change his neck.
Oh, I told him, he asked me if he should,
Yep.
get a haircut during this meeting.
I think you'll probably have
Hey, Trent.
be more effective. I've lived in a house.
Hello everybody, welcome to 93rd Student Government meeting for October 8th, 2025. This meeting is being held in CSU 238. It's currently 4:01 p.m. and I call this meeting in order. We'll begin with our land recognition statement. Student government acknowledges that we live, work, and learn in the homeland of the Dakota people, whose language frames our institution's name, Minnesota State University, Mankato. We'll now begin with the roll call. Senator Livingston. Senator Hyber. Senator Kabad. Senator Kabad. Senator Dittrich.
Here.
Senator Morris.
Here.
Senator Riaz, Senator Sharaf, Senator Nguyen, Senator Anderson,
Here.
Senator Zelmer,
Present.
Senator Cummings,
Present.
Senator Hiluka,
Here.
Senator Isaac, Senator Knaver, Senator Johnson, Senator Atkinson,
Here.
Senator Stokes, proxy for Senator Hillstead,
Present by proxy.
Senator Shawn, Senator Ide, Senator Liu, Senator Frost,
Here.
Senator Wickersaw,
Here.
Vice President Catley,
Present.
and President Calderon. Speaker is here as well. Are there any dissent or motions for approval of consent agenda? Do we have any dissents for approval of consent agenda? Yes, President Calderon.
Yes, I'd like to motion to add Senate reports above vacancies, or, sorry, Senate reports below vacancies.
Second.
Okay.
Any dissent? All right, seeing none, it just passes. So we move forward with our open forum. Is there anyone here for open forum? Yes, John.
Mr. Speaker, this is not for open forum, but just an update for the senators, especially those who may be new around the table, because you see a bunch of student organizations listed for the first time on your agenda this week. This is the final process in approval for recognized student organizations. They have completed all of the online documentation and all of that and are in process of completing some trainings. But they have met enough of the requirements to be forwarded to you for full approval. And so that's why you see a big old list of student organizations on your agenda for this week. And that will be continuing as they are finishing up the approval process for those groups. There are about 40 on there. 187 have submitted 187 returning organizations so far have submitted all of their materials, and there are 17 new ones. So we have 204 altogether right now. But this is the first batch of 40 that have made it through the review process as MIT and Oluwashun are finishing that. So just to explain to you what you're seeing on your agenda today for the first time.
Thank you, John. Yes, proxy Youngsburg.
I just wanted to note a procedural thing. We didn't approve the motion to change the consent agenda, and then the Senate also did not approve the new consent agenda.
I did request for any dissent to it, and there was a second. So.
And then it was the motion.
Okay.
Nobody
Are
approved
there
the
any?
motion.
Okay. So do you want to begin with? So we'll begin with the approval of consent agenda first, and then we'll come back to the motion where we are changing the place for officer report, speaker report, senator report. Okay. So first of all, are there any dissent or amendments to the consent agenda?
Did that.
So do you want to vote on it?
Yeah, that's what you do.
We have to vote on the amended consent agenda to be approved.
All right, all those who approve of the consent agenda, please raise your black card. All those who dissent to it or disapprove of it. All right, seeing none, the consent agenda clearly passes. Now, we move forward with the motion brought upon us by President Calderon to change the place of senator report below vacancies. All those in favor, please raise your black card. All right, it clearly passes. Thank you. Now we move forward with open forum. Is there anyone here for open forum? All right, seeing none, we move with our Dean of the Day, who is Jennifer Velsauce. She is the PhD and Assistant Provost for Assessment and Curriculum Involvement. Please give her a big round of applause.
I come here like a couple times a semester and you don't clap. Now I'm gonna expect that every time. Thank you for inviting me to speak with you today. I am. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me to speak with you today. As the Dean of the Day, I asked for this one because I wanted to remind you all that the Higher Learning Commission will be on campus Monday and Tuesday of next week for our site visit. That's one of the big portions of our comprehensive review. There's going to be 3 open sessions that I would encourage you all to attend. 2 of them are on Monday afternoon. They'll be in Ostrander Auditorium. Criterion 3 focuses on teaching and learning for student success. This is something that you probably feel pretty strongly about. That's where we talk about the programs that we offer, the quality of instruction. We talk about assessment and continuous improvement, things like that in that criterion. Criterion 4 is about sustainability. That is resources, strategic planning. It's things like Equity 2030 and Destination 2030. A lot of forward-thinking, long-term planning stuff. They just let me know that they're going to be also asking questions about retention. And so while this one isn't like the sexiest of the criteria, they are hoping that students will attend that one. And then Monday morning is the open session on mission and integrity. And so that's where we're talking about why we do what we do, how we make decisions about pretty much everything, the co-curricular programs that we support, how we spend our money, which academic programs we have. So all of this fits into the mission of the university as a comprehensive institution that supports teaching and learning in support of the state, the region, and the global communities. And then integrity is essentially, do we do what we say we do? So research integrity, academic freedom, policies and procedures, which is my favorite, not everyone's favorite, but I love it. How does the Board of Trustees support us? So that's the kind of stuff that's going to happen on Monday morning. I shared a schedule with President Colleran and the rest of the representatives that meet and confer last week. I can provide another one if necessary. But please attend one of those open sessions if they fit into your schedule. The peer reviewers also asked to have lunch with some students and alumni. So you've got 10 reps attending that, 8 undergrad, 2 grad, and then we're looking for 2 alumni. And then that's Monday. And then on Tuesday, they asked for about 50-minute conversation with distance education students. And by that, they mean students in both our fully online programs, but also students at our additional locations. So we're going to have we've invited the students at Iron Range Engineering up in Virginia, the students at St. Paul College, and then online students Zooming in. So they are very interested in getting the student experience. They want to hear from you. So I encourage you to participate if you can. And if you're just kind of curious about all of this stuff, participate too. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I've learned a lot about the university through this process. But as a reminder, this is really important to the university. Accreditation is a mark of quality for us. So that's my main report. Otherwise, in academic affairs, we're kind of chugging along, y'all. We are, we've got departments talking about creating new programs. We have departments talking about merging programs. There are, the usual curriculum developments coming through. I'm about to launch the assessment and program review cycle. Global Ed continues to recruit students to support them. So everybody's doing what they normally do. I'm curious if you have any questions that you think I might be able to answer. I'm happy to do that. Otherwise, I just thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to you today.
Thank you so much. Do we have any questions for our Dean of Study? Yes, Senator Dietrich.
Thank you so much, Dr. Valstos, for joining us today. I just wanted to ask, so the HLC visit is about accreditation. Can you share with us what happens if the university does not do well and does not get reaccredited?
Thank you, Emily. Just teasing. Emily was on my committee, so she knows that this is going to be great. But I do appreciate thinking about the worst case scenario. I think I am very confident in the report that we've put together, the plan that we have. I do think that there are some well-deserved notations of places where we can do better. Assessment is one of our areas of focus for this. We can absolutely do better. We collect data, we assess, and then we put it into a file and we move on. And so closing that loop is likely to be an area of concern, or at least they're going to suggest that we have some work to connect directly the decisions we make and the improvements we make to the assessment. The other area of focus is the portfolio evaluation that we went through last year and the programs that we suspended. I think we ran a really solid process there, and I feel good about it. If they disagree with me, that tiny chance that they disagree with me, that would have pretty big implications, though. We need to be accredited to comply with system policy. It requires that all of the 33 institutions are accredited. We are required to be accredited to be eligible for federal financial aid. That has huge implications on you, those of you who are using federal aid to pay for your studies. Institutions rely on accreditation when making decisions about transfer. So if you want to transfer to a different institution or to apply to a graduate or professional school and we don't have accreditation, there's a chance that those credits wouldn't be accepted. So while I kind of come across as pretty flip sometimes about this, the stakes are pretty high on this. But that's all the more reason why we worked really hard. It took us about 18 months to put this report together, and I think it's going to be a really good experience.
Yes, Senator Dietrich.
I don't have a question. Is that okay? It's more just a clarification. Okay. My prior question wasn't about like the quality of like the work done on the HLC. It was more like what happens if students don't actually show up to the things that they've said they will, or don't participate in the upcoming process, or say something like, I hate this place, shut it down, or something, in the event that a student decides to be humorous at a forum or something like that.
That's not how I interpreted that question at all. You know, say what you got to say. Honestly, they are experienced peer reviewers. Our chair has been on 15 different institutional reviews. This is her third time chairing a committee. All of them have been to plenty of these things. They are aware that not everybody has a great experience. It's not all butterflies and rainbows for everybody. And they do want to hear about your experience. I do want to put things into perspective. They can't force us to do anything. You know, it's not like HLC will say, fund Minnesota State better, change that allocation model, even though that's very much what we put in the assurance argument, was these things would help us out a lot. They're not in the position to force or require big changes like that, but they will definitely say, this is an area of concern that we think you need to work on. And we take that seriously. So if you feel like they should know something that we could incorporate into our continuous improvement work as an institution, tell them that.
Thank you so much. Do we have any other questions for our Dean of the Day? Yes, Proxy Youngsburg.
Yeah, so I know about the HLC, it was on the committee, but this is more like the academic affairs side for you. So with the international student mid-start semester, do you have any updates on how that's going, or any things like kind of about that? Because I know there hasn't been a whole lot of information about that, but how that's going for international students and adjusting to classes and that whole thing.
Okay. Don't quote me on any of the numbers because this is just my memory, and Brian Jones may have more accurate information than I do. We had really high hopes for the Late Start program. Unfortunately, more students than we expected were unable to get visas. Several students deferred their start, some until the spring and some until the fall. So the program ended up being considerably smaller than we had hoped. We're really excited that everybody came together to support international students in this way. We think that the idea has merit and it's probably worth investigating in the future. For now, the courses are continuing to run. So the students who got their visas, were accepted, chose to come, they will be here. The courses are there available for them. I believe the courses are opening up to the general student enrollment to, you know, to make sure they fill, because it's not a whole lot of fun to be like one of a handful of people in a class. So it's running, it's just not as robust as we had hoped. Does that sound accurate?
Thank you. Do we have any other questions for our Dean of the Day? All right, seeing none, thank you so much for your time. Please give her a big applause. We will now be moving forward with our officer report. I'd like to invite President Colleran for his report first.
Okay. Thank you, Speaker Thapa. Okay, so my report is a little bit big, so please hang in there with me. So I'll try to go through as quick as I could. ULEAD information. ULEAD is happening next week. In case you don't know, it's a very big leadership conference that has no barrier to entry. So any y'all could attend any session you want to. It's very leadership focused. So it's a really big opportunity for you to learn more about being in student government and learn more about being in other student organizations. Also life in general. So I'd highly recommend going. I know I will be. Center project briefings. We're starting the semester off really well with center projects, as I believe all you have declared a center project. And I'm looking for ways to ensure that your project is effective and is continuing to make progress. With that said, I love to reiterate that I want to be resourced in helping y'all and making sure these projects go well. So if you are in a project and like more info on it, or get more action items on how to achieve it, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. My office hours are again every Tuesday from 3 to 5 p.m. and every Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m. If you also want to have a meeting with me, please reach out. I'd be happy to do that. Next up is Students United Conference. This is probably one of the most exciting things. So every fall, Students United holds a conference related to advocacy and just how for students to advocate for themselves on a local and state level. So they're holding a conference, and it's called Advocacy and Action Conference. It's a very big event happening on November 7th on Friday to November 8th on Saturday. There are 12 spots open. I would like to see all the spots filled by the end of the next couple of weeks. The application for it closes on October 17th, and I'll be sending an email out to y'all later today to get more information on it. But again, I highly recommend going. Like it is a free stay, it is free food, and it's always a plus for me. Next up is a topic we had for Need Confer. There's incoming South Dakota and student tuition changes. So in case you don't know, and to give a little more context on this, there was a reciprocity agreement between Minnesota and South Dakota for the past few years. In case you don't know what that is, it's basically an agreement between state schools of South Dakota and state schools of Minnesota. And that agreement meant that those students could pay in-state tuition between those two states. So here at MSU Mankato, a couple of years ago, South Dakota students could pay in-state tuition to Minnesota students to attend Minnesota universities. That reciprocity agreement ended this semester. And after conversations with administration and student government had decided to have a scholarship sent over to any new incoming South Dakota student to apply in-state tuition starting next semester. So that's a very big thing we're looking forward to, and we really look forward to having more initiatives for college affordability just like that. And second to last, student government versus student affairs kickball. In case you don't know, student government has a lot of events with student affairs, and one of the biggest things we have is student government versus student affairs. And we have a lot of fun events that are just small competitions between us as students and people in active administration within this university. So this semester we're doing one event for kickball in the Dome. It'll be happening in early November, so I'll be providing more details in the future. Just want to get that on your radar and your calendar. It'll be happening immediately after a Senate meeting, and that Senate meeting will somehow be only 1 hour long. So I'll look forward to that. And finally, and probably most importantly, we have Senator of the Month. For people that don't know, for Senate, we award awards to senators every single month for the work they've done in the prior month, and just recognizing how well they have been doing, making sure that their work that is well deserved to be recognized is recognized. So I love to give the first senator a month for September. This year we are looking to do 2 senator months, and we're also providing a certificate and $15 gift cards for it. So I'll start off with the first senator. So the senator is new student government this year, and when they came in, and despite that, when they came in, they hit the ground running. They have commendable enthusiasm for absolutely everything in student government, whether it be committees, Senate projects, and very active discussions on the Senate floor. They have quite the impression through me, I bet with the rest of the Senate, through the Monks Avenue projects, the Mac Food Pantry projects, and so much more. So with that said, I'd like to congratulate Senator Hillica for being the first Senator month for September. And that is my report. I'll happily yield to questions.
Where do you find the like the Students United Conference sign up?
Yes, you can look through on the Students United website, but I already have an email. Yeah, Emily, Senator Dietrich will add on Teams. I already have an email that we sent out to you all after Senate.
Okay.
Give you more information on it.
Sounds great, thank you.
Yes.
All right, any more questions for President Calderon? Seeing none, we move forward with our... Oh, okay, we have the award here, so let's invite Senator Hillica over here to get his award. Let's go. All right, now we move forward with our Vice President Kathleen's officer report.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. For today's officer report, I have a few updates to share. So last Thursday, we held a meet and confer session during which the president announced the successful launch of Future State initiative. This initiative focused on increasing university visibility through the development of new infrastructure. And if you remember, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, during the Senate meeting, I said we had a surprise at Taylor Center. That was the same project. The other one, the administration is actively exploring the options for bonding of Armstrong Hall, and they continue to work towards making this a reality in the near future. You should have also received an email regarding the participation in HLC accreditation peer review, which Dr. Vassos just talked about, and thank you to those of you who responded promptly and expressed interest. I believe a couple of you are going, so I hope you have fun there too. And the DI office continues to emphasize the goals outlined in Equity 2030 and has reported that the progress is on track. Regarding the dining contract, the university is currently in discussion with various companies. I will be taking a lead on that on behalf of the student body to ensure that students' voices and concerns regarding dining contract are represented. If you have any experience issues or have some recommendation that you'd want to see for the next 10 years, I believe, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Finally, for the upcoming meetings, we have one-on-one with Vice President Morris, a meeting with the President's Commission on Diversity and Budget Summit. If you have any important topics that you'd like us to take forward, please reach out at your earliest convenience. Before I announce the Senator of the Month from my end, any questions? Okay, so for Senator of the Month on my end, the senator is a returning senator. They're one of those senators that I personally reach out to and ask questions, and they're always very active. They've helped me a lot since I joined student government, and it's my first year, so I am trying to figure things out. And they're one of the persons besides the president that I go to. I've seen them constantly work hard, ask questions, make sure that everyone is held accountable and do job on their end. And with that, drum rolls, please. Senator of the Month is Senator Dietrich.
Senator Dietrich to get her prize.
Okay, and we also have this cute little puppy. Any of us, anything for us? Perfect. Thank you. And you get your certificates for both of you probably next week. Hope I have this week.
I hope that drives some of our senators to work even harder with the lure of some trophies and gift cards. But apart from that, we move forward with my officer report. I have a very short and sweet one. First of all, I want to talk about the senator hours. I see everybody has been trying to update it, and which is very nice. I will also personally update all the names and everything that's necessary probably today. And there was also a thing that I would like to share. From now on forward, I won't be taking any new resolution or anything that needs to be added to the agenda if it's submitted to me after Tuesday 4 p.m. I mean, not after Tuesday 4 p.m., like after Monday 4 p.m. So everything that you guys want to put in the agenda should be submitted to me before Monday 4 p.m. so that I can like implement it in the agenda and everybody can be like get the agenda in proper times. So if that's clear, I'm open to any questions if you guys have any. All right, yes.
I would assume that if somebody gave you something on, say, Tuesday, you'd put on the next agenda, right?
Yeah, then if someone were to submit me something on Tuesday, then it would go for the next week's agenda, not for the Wednesday's one. All right, we now move forward with vacancies. I'd like to announce all the vacancies that we have. First, it's 4 seats for Senator College of Allied Health and Nursing, 2 seats for Senator Residential Life, 1 seat for Senator College of Business, and 1 seat for Senator at Large. Today, I think we have a candidate for Senator at Large, I believe. So yes, you may please proceed to the podium. All right, before you begin, I'll quickly go through the procedures. You'll be given 2-minute time for your opening statement. You'll be followed by a question answer round where all the senators are free to ask you any questions. After we're done with question answer round, you'll be given 2-minute time for your closing statement. After that is done, we move forward with the discussion. You may leave or stay in the room. And then we'll move forward with the closed ballot voting system. Do we have any questions from anyone? All right, seeing none. You may begin with your opening statement now.
All right. Thank you all. I appreciate you coming out and listening to me for today. Before I start, I'd just like to introduce myself. My name is Trenton Ide. I am a current sustainability fee coordinator. I was a past residential life student senator, but unfortunately, I did not know that you need to live on campus to be a residential life senator. So here I am applying for at-large. I have many hands in many different fields. I am the main instructor for our Model United Nations team here, of which last year we had a person place 3rd in the University of Minnesota conference in their delegation of about 50 people, which was very, very exciting for us. Additionally, for more so student government projects last year, I worked extensively with the Basic Needs Committee and the Maverick Food Pantry. I helped them raise an additional, I believe, $5,000 when it came to budget season for the MAV Food Pantry. Additionally, I have worked extensively with many different sustainability people, such as Jennifer. Well, I've worked with David Cowan, and I've also worked with many other deans, such as Jennifer Velstos, when it comes to the first-year experience class. Overall, I have many plans for student government, and I've had an extensive past, and I think that this year will be a great future for me. If you have any questions, please just ask.
All right, thank you so much. Do we have any questions for the candidate? Any questions for the candidate? Yes, Vice President Kathy.
Since you're moving from resident to now off campus, how do you, at large, how do you plan on making that transition smooth, and how do you plan on working with at large students?
So that's a great question. Last year, I also worked extensively with Senator Smith, who was the previous at-large senator, with our thrift store initiative project. I'm also continuing that project this year. So I'm gonna try and discuss with her kind of how she ran the at-large position and kind of how to continue that forward. I want to look at, because I'm at large, I want to look at issues that affect many, many, many students, not just the residential life. One of the things I'm working on this year is changing the way that the CSET classes are scheduled with labs, as general biology courses and general chem courses are scheduled at the same time, meaning that if you are a biology major, a chemistry major, a biochem major, a biomed major, and there's one more, you can't really take those classes at the same time, and you're stunted and you're limited to taking only one class a semester, and it takes a lot longer to get through your degree. That's one of the projects I'm planning on working for as at large, and I have many more in the pipeline.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions for the candidate? All right, seeing none, you'll be given 2 minutes for your closing statement, and it begins now.
All right. Again, I'd just like to thank you all for listening to me today. I have a lot of plans if I do get elected for the at-large senator position. I'd also like to comment, I know recently I've been coming in a little late to the meetings. That's because I have a class scheduled from 3 to 4:30. But I did meet with my professor over the last week, and we've sorted something out. So I'll be here at 4 p.m. every single day, guaranteed. Promise. All right. That's all. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
All right, thank you so much. We now begin with our discussion. I'll be taking the list of names of all the senators who wish to speak, followed by, first of all, Senator Johnson, followed by Senator Hiluka, followed by Senator Zelmer, followed by Vice President Cathey, and that's all. Followed by Senator Isaac.
I highly recommend a yes vote for recent and hopefully returning Senator Hyde. I'm really impressed that something came up and he wasn't able to serve in the role that he had been elected to, and continues to desire to be the chair of the Sustainability Committee. I got to work with him last year on that committee. I look forward to working under him in the future. I think that's a really commendable thing and it shows his desire to continue doing this work, that when something came up, he ran all over again for another position here.
Senator Hiluka.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that I've spoken extensively with our former senator, our candidate who's running here today, on a variety of different issues. He's always been somebody who I felt I could reach out to and talk to, especially with student government things. As a new senator, it was very difficult for me to try and find out who was the right person for this project, who was the right person for that idea. He was one of the people that really helped me get connected with other people in student government. So for that, I'd like to push a yes vote on this candidate.
Thank you. Followed by Senator Zelmer.
You had redundancy to everyone, and then also I was extremely surprised last year, being a Res Life Senator with Trenton as a Res Life Senator, how he was able to get a lot of students involved. That's something that I struggled with, just because you're living together, but you can't just go and door knock. No one's going to open the doors. And I was extremely surprised by him and his engagement with his constituency, and I would encourage a yes vote.
Thank you. Vice President Cathey.
I've worked with candidate Ide and coordinator Ide a lot. He's one of those people who come in my office not right and it's like, oh, I have to stand, what do I do? And I'm like, go ahead, can you please explain? And when we figured it out that he could no longer serve as the residential life, quoting his exact words, bro, I love student government so much. I'm going to apply for sure in another position. That is his exact words that he's told me, and I've always seen that passion in him, and I've always seen how easy he is to work with. I say that to a lot of people, but I don't think he's very easy to work with, and he has a lot of plans that I do not see a lot of senators bringing up, and unique plans, and he has a way to captivate ideas of a lot of different individuals. So I will be voting yes for him.
Thank you. Senator Isaac.
Yes. Also, you into redundancy. I have worked with him for almost a year now in the project of the Model of the United Nations. So he's not only someone that works really hard in the Senate, he's someone that really, really works and involves within campus and student activities. So I also push a yes vote.
Thank you so much. Do we have any other more points of discussion? If not, then we'll move forward with our closed ballot voting. I want everybody to write yes, no, or abstain in a piece of paper, while John will take over from the left-hand side and I'll take from the right.
Thank you.
I interpreted the same way she did, so if I'm happy with that.
For you, John.
You voted for me?
Yeah, I did.
I'm ready to go to bed. I appreciate your support.
technically last year?
Oh, at one point, yes, I was.
Space.
Before freaked out and withdrew.
I should have made that decision.
He must be the other customer.
Yeah. Oh, Dennis. We haven't actually, that week. Have to go down to vote in the chat. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna.
It's like a celebratory water.
Yeah, for a while.
Like,
Or does it want to be a super?
My second's not here to present his thing, so.
But I am.
Yeah, that's true. Is there room, is there an element over there from the last
Probably I'm not trying
I saw you earlier, but I wasn't.
Probably gonna do the center.
Did you bring him any?
I know.
Well, I used to give her checks and she never did.
I think I'm just Students United. Yeah, I forgot my phone. I would have.
Dave, did you wanna send me a check too?
Yeah,
I would.
I wanna just donate to
Great.
I'm trying to get it back over. Perfect.
I've never been up for voting. If you're gonna stand for something, you might as well stand for it. That's always been mine.
Yes.
All right, everybody, we're back in session. I'd like to invite our candidate I to please move forward to the podium. After the counting of the votings, we have come to the conclusion that candidate Ide has successfully been elected as the senator at large. Now, I'd like to invite you to take your oath of office. I state your name.
I, Trenton Ide,
Will represent and serve
will represent and serve
the students of Minnesota State University, Mankato,
the students of University Minnesota State Mankato,
the students of Minnesota State University, Mankato,
the students of Minnesota State University Mankato
in student life
in student life
and academic needs,
and academic needs,
and will uphold the mission,
and will uphold the mission,
Constitution,
Constitution,
and the bylaws
and the bylaws
of the student government.
of the student government.
I so affirm.
I so affirm.
Thank you so much. Everybody, please give them a big round of applause. Can you please join us now then, we move forward with our senator reports. First of all, I'd like to invite Senator Anderson for her report.
We're just gonna wait 1 second for my presentation to be brought up. Well, hello everyone. I hope everyone's doing well at this lovely Senate meeting. I'm just gonna hop right into it. So some of the main things I've been working on this semester thus far for Senate projects have been the AED initiative, getting CSET students who are freshmen accessibility to major specific advising in addition to PSEO specific major advising, and PSEO Access and Wellness Initiative and the Monks Avenue project. And I'm just going to touch a little bit on each of those projects. So for the AED initiative, I realized that something that the CSET academic buildings have in common besides infrastructural problems and being really confusing is a lack of AEDs. So that's been acknowledged. And if you didn't know, there's only one out of Ford, Trafton, Wiesink, Nelson, and Armstrong being considered CSET for this. So I've been coordinating with different senators to work on this project. We've identified a project plan. So I've been meeting with security because security does their weekly checks on the AEDs, in addition to faculty and facilities about the placement of potential new AEDs and how we'd go about getting funding for this. And we did complete trial number 1 of different response times to go get an AED based on acknowledgement of where the AED is and not knowing where it is. So to move on to the freshman CSET advising for major specific, I've been gathering data and reaching out to freshmen or previous freshmen about how they feel about their accessibility to getting advising done and just the gaps within that. And I've been drafting up a proposal to talk to the CSET general advising and just seeing what some of our options are. And to move forward to the PSEO advising, I'm going to take a very similar route. And I've been gathering data on that and just where the discrepancies are within that. So then just integrating it similarly to how CSET will be doing it for potential major specific advising. So in correlation to PSEO, I have also noticed during my time being a PSEO student, there was definitely a lacking of access to resources and wellness initiatives here. So I've been in contact with people surrounding PSEO director and some other coordinators involving that, and just having the conversations about how to get more resources out there to PSEO students and how to include them more on campus. And to follow up with this, I've also been working on the Monks Avenue project. As someone who works in EMS, I personally relate to this, being involved with EMS, just responding to motor vehicle accidents, not exactly Monks Avenue, but just motor vehicle versus pedestrian. And a little fun fact, if someone is struck by a motor vehicle at 20 miles per hour, the fatality rate is 5%. And at 30 miles per hour, it jumps significantly up to 45% fatality. And at 40 miles an hour, which is what most people have been clocked at cruising on Monks Avenue, it jumps up to 85% fatality rate for being struck. And I know that some people in this room have personally crossed Monks Avenue and have felt unsafe, me being one of those people, and including some of the people sitting around at this table. So if you have any questions, ideas, or collaborations, anything across campus, outreach events, and just campus-wide safety efforts, please let me know. My contact information's on there, and I will yield the floor to questions.
Yes, Senator Dittrich.
I'm gonna ask my question really carefully this time. You mentioned that you're working on something called AEDs and that there's only one for CSET. For those, I'm only kind of vaguely aware of what they are. Could you tell us what those are and why they're important?
Okay, so as an EMT and just general population, a good percent of students on campus do have first aid and CPR and AED training. AED stands for automatic external defibrillator. So basically, if someone goes into cardiac arrest, which is no breathing and no pulse, you're able to attach AED pads to them, and the AED will analyze for a shockable rhythm, and it is something that aids in CPR performance and can potentially save a life. If that answers your question.
It did, thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Yes, Senator Hyde, followed by Senator Morris.
Yeah, I just have a question regarding like the I guess more so like the standards of AEDs, is there a suggested time that they have for how long it takes to get to an AED for in the act of an emergency? And do you have any information on like how long it takes currently?
So yes, I do have some information on this. Based on our trial number 1, the other evening, I personally, being an EMT here on campus, if I'm working on a Wednesday, I would walk around to all the AEDs on campus. So I know where all of them are located, and I ran an experiment the other night running from Armstrong Hall, 352, or it was 325. Yeah, 325 Armstrong Hall, and dead sprint from Armstrong Hall, taking interior pathways only. It took me 2 minutes and 50 seconds sprinting, knowing where it was, to get to Trafton Central right outside of 121. But in our secondary experiment, where the person didn't know where the AED was, and half sprinting, half walking, from Ford Hall 210, which is a lab, it took this person 6 minutes and 40 seconds to get there, when the recommended walking time is 3 to 5 minutes. And that's there and back.
Thank you.
Okay, I have one add on to that, because I'm curious, since it was 6 minutes, what would the response time for an ambulance be in that?
So the average male response time to get to our university, dependent on the room, can be anywhere from 5 minutes from the time the pager drops to anywhere upwards of 15 minutes.
Okay, and then my second question for you, the PSEO advising thing, I'm curious, so PSEO students, at least when I did it in high school, we had access to our high school advisors.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just something that's different all across the board, across the state, or kind of what's your idea behind it? Just because they do have advising access at their high school, and PSEO is mainly so they can get some college credit while in high school.
Mm-hmm. So specifically, I know in my experience as PSEO, I did not receive any help from my counselor when it pertained to PSEO. There was definitely a lacking in guidance there, but I'm talking more so on the university side, because as a PSEO student, most of our PSEO students are from local high schools and will most likely attend Minnesota State University Mankato. So, and a good deal of us know what major we want to be in when we do come here full time. So just reaching on the disparity, I've had some PSEO students reach out to me and be like, how do I get access to major specific advising if I'm not a full-time student here? So just seeing that shortcoming and trying to make it more accessible, because in my personal experience, I knew what I wanted to do, and I couldn't even get an advisor to talk to me in general at all.
Any more questions? Vice President Kate, followed by Patrick. Anyone else?
Hi. Firstly, I like all of your project, but I have a question. So for AD, if it took you 2 minutes, knowing where the direction, where like the location is, by sprinting, wouldn't it be possible for us to let the student body, like all the student body, know where it is rather than spending money in extra equipment, I'd say? But like if everybody is aware about where the AEDs are, they'll be there faster compared to that 2 minutes and 6 minute time frame.
So as of currently, I knew where it was, and it took me 2 minutes plus to get to it one direction. I ran from it from Armstrong and got there, basically tapped the box, and I vlogged all of this. So it would take me time to run back as well, which would be outside of the 5 minute time frame, which presents a danger and opens the university up to liability when it comes to that. And there's nothing that's done already about on maps around the CSET buildings that identifies where the AED is. Because most of the maps show that you are here, but it doesn't show where an AED is, and there's no signage pointing down to the AED. And in my second trial that we ran, during trial 1, the person quite literally just walked right past the AED because there was no sign. So maybe getting signage and mappage first, and then proceeding to adding more.
Any more further questions will be addressed outside of Senate after Senator Dietrich gives her question. given the time frame.
So during the leadership retreat, one of the things you talked about with your plans for tackling PSEO related projects was that because you were a PSEO student, you could be doing like general type classes, but you wouldn't have the catalog year of like your own, like if you were a PSEO student and you did that for 3 years, but then you didn't start, and then you started at MNSU after you graduated, your catalog year would be after you graduated. It may not include, it may have changed since the time that you actually started doing PSEO. Have you worked on that at all with the PSEO director?
I have actually been drafting up a proposal for that. As someone who personally experienced that, I couldn't declare my catalog year for one of my current majors, and I'm currently retaking 2 classes right now because they slightly changed the catalog for that. So now I'm having to retake credits and spend more money.
Thank you. Any more for? Anyone from that?
Can you come talk to me? Just like at some point.
Yep.
Thank you so much. We now move forward with Senator Atkinson's Senator report.
All right, Ballin. I don't need the mic for this. We can just project. However, I just want to say, hi, y'all. Hope you're having a good day. So this year, I've had 2 main senator projects that I've led the charge on, which have been both intense but rewarding. To start off, my CSET project, which, you know, engineering student, CSET, fun stuff. The big project has been to improve the conditions of the current labs provided for students. Right now, I've actually finished talks with Dr. Wu, and we have begun talks with NextGen RF to get surplus lab equipment from them. And Dr. Wu provided me a bunch of really helpful information. For example, students can actually go to the department and request for additional funding from external sources and from even internal sources from the school. This is actually done in one of the classes, junior design project. That is a required thing for electrical engineers. But I started talks with the biology department and the physics department about improving some of the equipment in their labs as well. My larger and more exciting project, with which a lot of people have been helping with, has been expanding sexual violence resources to all students, and that's been making very significant progress. This project is really personal to me because my freshman year I experienced sexual violence, and I don't want that to happen to anyone again. You know, I want to provide them with the proper resources to go to people and not have to take the path that I have had to take. So, but thankfully, some of my closest friends helped me out during that close time, and I'm still really close to these people, and I'm forever grateful for them. I'm extremely happy with the amount of support I've received from fellow senators on this project and the guidance that I've received from the team at the Women's Center and at the VARP Center. Most of the current work on this project has been preparing the team for reaching out to various local grocery stores, hospitals, hotels, apartment complexes, and reaching out to on-campus agencies such as Res Life and the Maverick Food Pantry to better understand what resources are available to survivors. Once again, I'm deeply grateful for all the help I've received so far from student government and from the Women's Center, and I cannot wait to see how we can better help the students at MNSU. That's all.
Thank you so much. Do we have any questions for Senator Atkinson? All right, seeing none, we move forward with Senator Ide's Senator report.
All right. Let me just throw it up. Give me 1 second. Should have been more prepared. I apologize.
All right, we're good. Ready to go. All right, thank you guys. This is gonna be pretty short of a senator report compared to a lot of others, so let's just jump straight to it. This year has really has kicked off running, not just for me, but I know for pretty much the entire student government. Compared to last year, I really feel like this is not saying last year wasn't a strong student government, but this is a very strong student government, and we've already gotten so many things accomplished, and I'm really excited to see how this goes. On my end, I started out this year as applying for the State Sustainability Fee Coordinator, which I luckily got, and
I also, last year I spoke as a representative for them to the student government when it came to budget season. So I have a lot of experience with the Sustainability Fee Committee already, and I hope to continue that with this year forward. Hopefully, right now I'm looking at some projects regarding, I know last year Senator Zelmer had a electric vehicle project, and we're looking at some grants right now that just came out for electric vehicle charging. So hopefully we'll be able to use that to get some of the money. There was a huge problem with the money last year. Additionally, for actual senator projects, I mentioned earlier in my introduction speech that I was working on a CSET scheduling project. To go a little more in detail with that, for biology, chemistry, biochem, biomed, and then like a couple other those like medical type degrees in CSET, you're required to take general biology 1 and 2 and general chemistry 1 and 2 in order to take the later courses like genetics or organic chemistry. Well, when you have students, I did a lot of college in the schools, so I had a lot of my generals done. Right now, I'm a sophomore, but I have every single general credit completed. So all I need now are those prerequisite courses. The problem is, I can't take Gen Chem 2 and Gen Bio 2 at the same time because all of the labs coincide with each other. Therefore, I'm having to take an extra semester just because I have to. I'm taking an extra semester because they aren't able to be taken at the same time. So I'm almost paying an extra $5,000 in tuition just for this. And it's a bottleneck course. So I'm gonna try, I've been meeting with multiple professors as of now, and I've been scheduling with some of the departmental leads to try and figure out if there's something that could be done about this. They say, with the professors I've met already, they've mentioned that they already meet and they talk with each other for the labs portion of the scheduling, but with such an issue like this, I'm gonna keep going forward. Additionally, I've collaborated a little with Senator Anderson on a project to increase the number of AEDs in the CSET system. So to kind of also go more on that, there's only one AED machine for the entirety of Trafton North, Trafton East, Trafton South, Trafton Central, Ford Hall, Wissink Hall, and Nelson?
Nelson and Armstrong.
And Nelson, and yes, so, and Armstrong. So therefore, if you're in Ford Hall, you're in the 3rd floor of Ford Hall, and you see someone in the lab fall down, you're gonna have to run all the way to Trafton Central 121. And I don't know if you guys are CSET majors, but I've heard from every single person who goes to Trafton how confusing it is. It took me 20 minutes to find where my class was on the first day. I take only classes in Trafton, and I still don't know where some things are. So if you're in, for context, if you're in the 1st floor of Trafton, there's no differentiation between Trafton North, Central, and South. They're all connected, they're all one building, and unless you know it. The floors are different. What do you mean?
If you look at the floor, the patterns on the floors are different between the buildings, yeah.
But still, it's.
As everyone would notice.
Have side conversation when senator is giving report, please.
But even with that, it's still generally extremely confusing, and unless you know the floor design of Trafton Central by heart, you're not gonna go, oh, this is my first time in Trafton, I need to find an AED. Let's go. When it takes more than 5 minutes to find it, just to get there, that means it's gonna take 10 minutes to even get to the person with an AED. That's 10 minutes of uninterrupted CPR without any resuscitation of heart devices. So essentially, you're gonna die. And I know we were talking, someone mentioned earlier about like, oh, what about more signage? Like, we shouldn't have, should we just notify like, never mind, I'm not gonna go there. But yeah, I think that a lot of these, if we can look at the way that these buildings are set up and go about it in a way that have more AED machines there to assist people, I think would be a great way to actually help. Other projects I've been working on are campus transportation and then increasing transparency between the student organizations. Although I've been a little busy with student government and then also balancing a work life, I've gotten it fixed now. I'm good. So if you guys have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm available on Teams. You can shoot me an email. I think I wrote my number down somewhere, so feel free to text me as well. I don't mind. That's all. Have a great day, guys.
All right, thank you so much. Do we have any questions for Senator Hyde? Yes, Proxy Youngsburg.
Just to think about the whole like lab scenario with like Gen Chem and Bio like 1, 2, Chem 1 and 2. I think it would just be more of like students just need to learn how to prioritize their scheduling and make sure that they don't pick labs that are at the same time, because I know that there's like 12 to 15 labs for like 105. There's like a certain number of labs for Chem whatever. Just don't take your lab at the same time, because classes are also scheduled differently. I've done it, I taught it. You can choose a different lab. Like they offer like 12 to 15 labs.
Proxy Youngsburg, was that a comment or a question?
I'm just saying, like, just feedback.
All right, you don't have to follow up to that. It was not a question. Thank you. We now move forward with Senator Liu's report. Yes. Oh, sorry. Before we move forward with that, you have a question?
Senator I.
Yeah,
I
Senator
know you
Liu.
mentioned the federal financial incentives for electric vehicles. I was wondering if there's any concerns regarding the current administration's efforts to revoke or rescind some of those EV either tax credits or grants, and how will that affect their initiatives?
That's a fantastic question. I quite literally got that email about the EV grants while I was in student government 30 minutes ago. So I'm talking to Paul Prue right now about that. So we're gonna hopefully be able to work that out regarding the sustainability. But yeah, any questions regarding that, shoot me an email or shoot me a message on Teams, and I can definitely reach out to Paul Prue about that.
Thank you so much. Now Senator Liu for her Senator report.
So hi everyone, if anyone has not met me yet, I'm Serene Liu, a Res Life Senator. And I'm gonna be mainly talking about my personal project as well as my new job as RHA liaison. So what my personal project is about is promoting multiculturalism with an emphasis on global citizenship. And this is important to me because I feel like nowadays, especially like there might not really, like people don't really understand how important it is for like everyone to kind of just understand each other and be empathetic. So I plan on doing this by working with various cultural clubs on campus and the student events team. And who else is on the project with me currently is Senator Atkinson. And if anyone else would like to join, talk to me or email me. So far what I've done is contacted the Multicultural Center and student events team, basically introducing myself and telling them about my project and expressing interest in working with them. I might go talk to them in person next week if I don't get replies. Plans for the future for my project is to meet with Senator Atkinson semi-regularly. Like so far, we have not collaborated a whole lot. Brainstorm ideas, start sourcing things needed like food, decorations, and I hope to have our first event planned by the end of semester before finals. Moving on to my work as RHA liaison. So this week I attended my first Residence Hall Association meeting which President Colleran so kindly attended with me. And basically what I did for the first week was I introduced myself, and going forward I'll be there to present to them like what's going on in student government, how it relates to residence halls. And I'll kind of be like the bridge in between these two big advocacy groups on campus. Yeah, so if anyone wants to contact me, my office hours are Monday 3 to 4, Thursday 12:30 to 1, Friday 2 to 3 on most weeks. Or you can email me at serene.liu@mnsu.edu. Yeah. So for everyone who voted me in this like last month, thank you, and I look forward to working with all of you further.
All right, thank you so much, Senator Liu. Do we have any questions for her? All right, seeing none, we go towards our last senator report by Senator Wickersell.
Hello, everybody. I guess going along the same lines of what Senator Liu said, thank you to everybody who voted me in last month. As I am new, both to campus and to student government. For those of you who don't know me, I am Senator Wickersham. I am a Res Life Senator and a freshman with a political science major. So as for current projects and everything as far as that goes, me, Senator Frost, Senator Hillica, and Senator Anderson have all been working on the student minimum wage project. We've had 2 meetings so far, both of which have been very productive. We've outlined a good plan going forward for how we're going to bring our case, I guess, to the administration, and how we're going to continue going forward advocating for better wages for student workers. Currently, our work is mostly focused on gathering information about both support from the rest of the student government and also the student body at large, as we're trying to figure out if this is a project with any actual support behind it, or if we're just going to appear to administration as a bunch of annoyed students. The other major project I'm working on is with Senator Frost and other Res Life senators. It's just getting started, but we're talking about ways to improve communication and engagement with our constituents. We've talked a bit about it, but as I said, we're just getting started on that project. We're hoping to find more Res Life centers, including Senator Liu, and once the last vacant Res Life center seat gets filled, whoever that is, we're hoping to get on the project too. But yeah, that's about it. You can email me at noah.wickersham@mnsu.edu. You can reach out to me over Teams, and you can also come see me during my office hours, which are Thursday 2 to 4 and Friday 11 to 12.
Thank you so much. Do we have any questions for Senator Wickersham? All right, seeing none, I would just like to announce all the senators that will be presenting their senator report on the following week. It is Senator Chabad, followed by Senator Isaac, followed by Senator Schoen, and followed by Senator Frost. Was everyone clear about that? All right, thank you so much. We now move forward with our new business. We have 2 resolutions, and I'd like to invite people presenting Monks Avenue resolution. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd just like to start by saying that I chose to author this resolution because Monks Avenue is one of the most heavily used crossings for students at our university. And it also, unfortunately, has a significant history of pedestrian accidents. And it is our belief that the current infrastructure is not enough to keep students safe when they are crossing this road. And recently, I have been personally speaking with students and leaders across campus, and people are generally feeling unsafe when they are crossing this road. And even members of our own leadership here have had close calls there as well. And to recap what this resolution really does, it formally recognizes the severity of the issue and urges the university administration to press the city government of Mankato, Minnesota, to initiate real actionable improvements and projects, as well as giving one favored suggestion to improve the infrastructure of the roadway with the addition of rapid flashing beacons, 2 marked crosswalks near campus. And these are basically already proven effective tools that increase pedestrian visibility when they are crossing roads. We already have some of them input on Stadium Road next to the CSU over here. And so I'd just like to thank you all for your time and for considering this resolution. And I hope you'll stand with me, Senator Sohn, and the students that we represent by voting in favor of this resolution when the time comes. And I'd like to also just say that this resolution is about ensuring that no student feels unsafe simply walking to and from the university.
Yes, Senator.
I would just like to also say, I believe Senator Sohn is joining the Zoom right now to give a statement.
Yeah, we're just waiting on him.
Yeah, I am here.
You can read out your statement, Senator Sohn.
All right. I'd just like to start off by saying or apologizing that I'm not there in person. There's some scheduling issues with work and just got here on Zoom, so just able to. But let's see here. Now, as many of you might have heard that Monks Road has become a major safety concern for pedestrians. There was 4 students last year and 2 already this. I actually am living in Highland Hills, right on Monks Road, and I've witnessed the emergency team come to help someone who had been hit. And I'd like to stress that this is not minor injuries that are happening. These are major, serious problems. When people are getting hit, they are majorly injured. Also like to say that it's very important that these crossings are worked on because Monks Avenue is home to many of the off-campus apartments. Highland Hills, the Lofts, and the Quads are just a few examples. And a lot of students use this crossings quite often to get to the university, especially the one right across from Highland Hills. It leads straight, if you walk straight to campus. And that mixed with the traffic that happens on Monks causes huge safety concerns. I personally have seen rush hour like traffic and students having to walk in front of cars very closely to get them to stop and be able to cross. It's very concerning to us as off-campus senators and the student government as a whole, since the safety of students is a matter. And me and the others who have been working alongside have been brainstorming ways to improve pedestrian safety and have come up with a few ideas. One major one we have right now is adding lights to those pedestrian signs, in the city tags lights, since that would give traffic a warning that pedestrians are crossing, and it would also create a window for pedestrians to cross. And we already had a meeting with the Legislative Affairs Committee and plan on working with them in the future and to make connections in the local government and discuss this ongoing issue with them. We have also been in contact with Senator Ben Livingston, who had led a project very similar to this on Monks Road last year. And so we are building the foundation he built and hoping to make more progress. And we are also planning on informing students. That's very important. Not only can we rally support for this issue, but just to inform students of the dangers of this crossing, since it is so highly used and a lot of people live on Monks Road. So for those reasons, I urge all of you to support this resolution so we may start improving the safety of our students.
All right. Thank you, Senator Sohn. Yes, Senator Livingston, followed by.
I have a comment.
Yeah, a comment.
Yeah, I just want to applaud the efforts of Senators Hillica and Sohn. I know this was something I and others have focused on last year. One of the biggest concerns we had was, we go to City Hall and we talk with city leaders, and the big issue is they're very deliberative. They're very slow moving for a reason, though. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is I really appreciate the approach that they're taking here, because last year I was more seeing the nature of what would be like working with City Hall. I focused more on the education advocacy side of things. If you recall, handing out reflective bans, infographics, stuff like that. So I appreciate kind of build momentum, start working on the policy side of things, where we can start potentially getting pedestrian infrastructure, securing grants and whatnot. And I'd appreciate anyone's voice on this matter, because the more voices we have, the better. The more pressure we put on city leaders, the better. So I would also encourage everyone's support.
All right, thank you. Vice President Kafle for any questions or comments.
It's more of a comment than a question. I appreciate the resolution as somebody who uses this road every day. I know the importance of the issue, and I'm also one of the students who talk to you guys about this issue. And since it's the first time that I'm seeing this resolution myself and has not been discussed with me, I have a few recommendations. Since this topic is such an important topic, I would suggest you guys to add relevant statistics, reports, factual information. So you have something backing up your resolution, which makes it more stronger. And also the other suggestion would be to specify what exactly are you requesting for. For example, do you want a light similar to the ones opposite to Chipotle or Taylor Center, or do you want something else? How many of those lights do you want? At what locations do you want? So we're asking for a task, but then this is a broad generalization. I would recommend you guys to narrow it down and write specifically what exactly do you want before we vote on this probably next week. So that's just a recommendation from my side.
Thank you. Senator Zelmer.
One question.
All right. First of all, I'd like to be very clear. This resolution was presented right now. We have not discussed anything about it. Second of all, our Vice President just made a recommendation to actually narrow the thing down, right?
Calling it to get moved to next week so we can move on with our
That's
agenda.
called to table, no?
I'm not tabling it, because we discussed it. I'm calling it to vote that it goes to next week's, or not vote on it, but just can we move on with the agenda?
All right. Are there any, yes, John?
Speaker is correct, it would be tabled until next week, that's what it is, that is the
Okay,
tabling.
motion to table.
Point of order, it's actually postponed till the next meeting. A motion to table doesn't specify a time.
Postpone till the next meeting.
Second.
All right, any second, yes, any dissents? All those in favor to just postpone this resolution to the next week, please raise your black card. All right, all those who are not in favor. All right, seeing that everybody wants to move this to the next meeting, this resolution will move to old business and will be addressed in the next following meeting. Thank you. We now have resolution faculty support. I'd like to invite the presenters to please go through it.
Do you want me to go up to the podium?
You can
stay here, is okay?
You can stay there. That's
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for squeezing this resolution into the agenda. I really appreciate that and respect your changing of that policy going forward. And I respect that and your help. Thank you, President Colleran, for your help in some of the fine tuning for parliamentary procedure in editing and revising this. Thank you, Senator Livingston, for your second and support. And thank you to the senators and Speaker Emeritus who gave some really great suggestions and ideas and thoughts in the committee meeting prior to this. The whereas clauses in this resolution are attempted to draw attention to some conflicts and desires to reaffirm the university's attachment to its own and our own core values, our mission statement, and our vision for the future, and connecting these in a way that showcases how much we value excellence in academics and in service, and how it makes a university community that reaches out to the rest of the city, the region, the state. And that's what these whereas clauses are. The fourth one down has some information that is intended to discuss some of the consequences of what can happen when programs or instructors are lost for reasons of retrenchment, budgeting, etc. A great piece of advice was to include information about a more recent similar situation at Bemidji just 2 years ago, and I would be happy to add that in prior to voting. There are two be it resolveds. The first one, there is a typo, conversations on the third line down. I would like to say the first sentence aloud of the first be it resolved. The 93rd Student Government respects and appreciates ongoing efforts to allow students in sunsetting programs to finish their studies. I think that's a really great thing that has been done, and I personally am proud of that and honor that, and I believe I am sharing that with the rest of this body. The rest of that be it resolved is a non-binding request for more transparency, more information, more communication about the totality of these issues so that when students attend forums, hearings, committee meetings, whatever the case might be, they can be more well aware of the potential consequences and results of these issues, and can therefore be able to do their own research, gather their information, and share their voice in these situations with full knowledge of what could transpire. The second, be it resolved, is another non-binding affirmation of our, as a student government, as a body, our commitment to the mission, the vision, and core values, and that we respect, we support, and we value all faculty, all instructors, whether they be tenured or non-tenured track, adjuncts, and graduate teaching assistants who in many cases are the teacher of record in their classrooms. I have the honor and privilege this year of teaching in a section of English 101, and for many, many reasons, it has been a primary source of joy for me this semester. It's been an exceedingly valuable thing for me in the past 2 weeks, dealing with a concussion, and those classes have been the thing that I have focused all of my energy because I find those to be exceedingly important things. It's a mandatory class, and I want every student, if I can have any role in that, to have a great experience in that class and all their other classes. And that's what I'm hoping to convey with this resolution.
Thank you. Senator Livingston.
Yeah, I really want to, I applaud Senator Johnson for his work. Very well written, very well said. Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously a humanities and social sciences senator, and that college is particularly susceptible to these program cuts. And so I've seen firsthand the effects that retrenchment does have on professors. And I've had class cancellations, I just general withdrawal. And I just really want to emphasize that we do support our faculty 100%. They're the reason we're here, their knowledge and their expertise. And I just want to also emphasize, this is also, I appreciate what he said about this is tying this to the university's mission. I understand that the university we're trying to follow market demands, right? We are going to reallocate our resources to make sure that our operation's more efficient and we meet the demands of students in the industries. We just want to make sure that we're also running ourselves like a public institution. They're upholding programs that are critical to program diversity, and we cover all programs such like history, general women's studies, urban studies which is my major, lesser known programs. So we want to make sure we have a great array of courses and majors for students to choose from. So yeah, that's all I have.
Any questions or comments? Yes, Senator.
So I brought this up in committee as well, and I just I feel very strongly about this and keeping professors and all this stuff, and I think this is overall a very well written resolution, and I appreciate Senator Johnson and Senator Livingston for writing it. However, there's one thing I would like to say. In the be it resolved, I think student government should explicitly condemn faculty retrenchment, which it does not do, because the entire resolution, right now as it stands, explains why faculty retrenchment is bad, and then it's like, but we just kind of want to work on it. I think student government should take a firm stand against faculty retrenchment. and show the university that we're serious about this issue and we're not just gonna use flowery language for it.
Vice President Kathleen.
So I have a question. So when you say about open transparency, what exactly are you asking for? Like, are you asking for administrators to send more email or have more town hall? And like a follow-up question to that is, what exactly are you trying to get out of this resolution as well, just for my knowledge?
Sure. Could you repeat your question? This is a concussion thing, I apologize.
You're okay. So when you say you want more open transparency, what exactly are you asking for from administrators, I believe? Are you talking more about sending out more emails or hosting more open town halls so we could convey it forward towards them? And what exactly are you trying to get out of this resolution?
Thank you for repeating that. By transparency, I don't necessarily mean more meetings and forums and hearings. The number that have taken place, particularly to this issue and in other cases, seem to be sufficient in number. And the information seems to get out in many ways through Teams and Mab Central, Connect, postering, emails to different departments and all that. So I do think that students and staff and faculty, for the most part, are aware of these opportunities to speak and hear. And for the most part, as I understand it, those opportunities are sufficient in number. What I'm looking for with transparency is that as those meetings are happening and as those forums are held, students are made more aware of what the ramifications could be and consequences that come out of these decisions that are made. I think that if students are better informed that retrenchment, ended programs, et cetera, could end up happening, they might be more likely to attend hearings and speak up and say their make their points and make their voices heard if they're more aware of all of the potential results of these situations. As far as what I'm seeking with this, and it also can speak a bit to Senator Frost's concerns, I'm trying to be positive in this and with the awareness that these things have already taken place and they are based on legitimate things that are affecting the entire student body and the entire university, and that we understand that and that we respect the work that's being done. We respect the efforts that are being made to make sure that students currently in these programs can finish. But we want more information given as far as what could end up happening after these forums and after these hearings. And like we did in the spring with other legislation, other resolutions that were non-binding, but showing our commitment and support for various causes, that's what I mean by the my other purpose in this. It's to affirm that we support our faculty, our teachers, and those who teach us, and those who we're also learning with. It's not that I'm requesting any sort of specific actions, reversals, or anything like that. That is not really in my or our wheelhouse. But I would like to make this push for this to vocalize and in writing and to the administration and the entire student body that we do value and respect all instructors on the campus.
All right, thank you. Senator Livingston.
I just want to address Vice President Coffey's concerns. I would echo Senator Johnson's remarks that in my purview, and when I talked with students, like they're not even aware this is happening. The average student does not know this is happening. And so we want to make sure things like these don't go under the rug and that students can be informed of what's happening at the administrative level, and therefore they can make more strategic decisions on courses they're taking, even their major, for example. They just want to make sure that the students have the resources they need to finish out on time.
All right, thank you. Senator Zellmer,
Motion to postpone to next week.
any seconds?
Second.
Any dissents? All right, all of you who are in favor of moving this resolution for old business for next meeting, please raise your placard. All those who are not in favor, please raise your placard. All right, this motion clearly passes, and this resolution will be discussed as old business in the following meeting. Thank you so much. We now are open for announcements. Any announcements? Yes, John.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm sorry to have to make announcements and run, but I'm doing a run through of an event space with student leaders right now. So I'll be taking off as soon as I make these. But I have quite a few announcements. Yesterday was the official launch in conjunction with the university's Founders Day of the reformatted and relaunched MavLife app. If you have the MavLife app on your phone and have used it and have not done an update in your app store within the past 24 hours, please go in and re-update and re-download that app. It looks completely different. All of the message boards have reset, all of that kind of stuff. So please go to your app store of choice, look up for the MavLife app, and update what you have on your phone. So I would encourage you to do that. It looks good. It's going to be a lot more functional. And oops, I just lost the button. I'll get that. But I will encourage you to update your app. Off-campus housing. There's a lot of stuff going on in the off-campus housing world. I have visited with 2 senators in the past week about projects regarding related to tenant associations and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm excited to see some movement in terms of educational campaigns for students about how to form a tenant association and advocate for yourself. So that's good to see. Also in that world, we have a week full of Renting 101 information sessions coming up the first week of November. There is the first housing fair of the year, November 4th. Encourage you to stop by there, especially if you're an off-campus senator and want to meet with some of the property managers and all of that. I'm hosting the Off-Campus Housing Summit in a week and a half with property managers, and we'll be going over several things there. I also have heard from some students. This is an educational moment for all of you, and if you have friends who are facing this, I encourage you to make sure that they know this. Starting in 2024, there was a law that went into effect that said that landlords cannot require current tenants to renew their lease more than 6 months ahead of the end of a current lease. I've spoken with residents of certain properties in town within the past 24 hours who've told me that their landlords are asking them or telling them that if they want to renew for next year, they need to do so by next week. If there is a defined term to your lease, and if that lease is more than 10 months in duration, your landlord by law cannot require you to renew more than 6 months at a time. So if your lease ends at the end of July, that means that your landlord cannot require you to renew before the end of January. Okay, so that's something to know that went into effect January 1st of 2024. And I'm hearing from students that there may be some landlords pressuring renewals before then. They cannot by law require you to do it more than 6 months ahead of time. If your lease is shorter or has an indefinite term, then it's different, but that doesn't meet that's not the bucket that most of your leases fall into. So if you have questions, ask me, or we can visit with the student attorney if there's something that I can't help clarify for you. So please know that that's going on. A reminder that this weekend is family weekend. There are a lot of events going on. The fraternity and sorority community has a pancake breakfast from 8 to 11 on Saturday. Tickets are $8 in advance, $11 on the day of, and you can get those at mnsuevents.com. The student events team is also hosting Ferris Bueller's Bingo in conjunction with the Ferris Bueller's Day Off movie on Friday night. And then there is The Price is Right on Saturday. The second show for Price is Right is more than half sold out. As of Monday morning, 270 of 340 seats were gone. The first show has a few more than that available, or as of Monday they did. I don't know what they have available now. But if you want to go to Price is Right, it's free, but you got to have a ticket, and the capacity, once reached, will not be exceeded.
Reminder about the CSU Haunted Takeover on the 29th. They're still looking for groups to do that. And then it was mentioned already, the ULEAD conference next week. If you can only make it to one event, I encourage you to come to the keynote. One of our TED Talkers is a former student government vice president, Mr. Brett Anderson, who graduated in 2011 and has moved up the ranks in the healthcare world. He's now the CEO of a independent senior living facility, and he will be one of those speakers. Dr. Brenda Flannery, the dean of, or the professor of management entrepreneurship and former dean of the College of Business, will be one of the others. And then Eddie Dong Ikonen, who is former president of the National Society of Black Engineers and a current electrical engineering major, will be the undergraduate student speaking. So please come out to that event. There's a fancy appetizer reception afterwards in the student activities office, so we encourage you to come out for that as well. And last but not least, I don't think
he's still around the corner,
but there was a star in our midst today. So Davis Jensen, who was the tech person working over here, is the lead for Oklahoma, which is the current production in the Early Center for the Performing Arts. I happened to be privileged enough to go see the show this past weekend and highly encourage folks to avail themselves of that. You get a $5 student ticket, and it was a great show, and Davis did a wonderful job as the lead. So I encourage you to take the opportunity to see the show this weekend if you get a chance. So thank you. I'm going to crawl under and get my button now.
All right, thank you so much. Do we have any other more announcements? Okay, first of all, do we have any questions for John before any other announcements? Any questions? All right, no questions. First of all, Vice President Kafle, followed by Senator Atkinson, followed by Senator Ide.
So an announcement, last year when I was running for vice president during our question and answer round, I forgot the name, David Cowan asked me a question about different housing companies taking money from student, of like especially their security deposit, and I was not aware of the situation back then, but I did tell him if I am elected, then this will be a topic that we can work on. So a senator project idea for off-campus senators is looking over that, because now I faced it, because last week I only got $25 out of $500 back from my security deposit, which is crazy, because trust me, there was like very limited things broken in that apartment. So yes, for off-campus senators, if there's a project that you're looking for, that is one of the projects that you can actually work on. And now I can actually tell you which apartment complex usually does that and which does not.
All right.
So reach out to me.
Thank you so much. Do we have any questions? All right, no questions. Senator Atkinson.
Okay, first of all, go see Oklahoma. It's gas. I'm good friends with Davis. He's a great guy. Go see it. Go support him. Go support the tech team. They're also a bunch of really cool people.
Right.
Secondly, you're all good. Secondly, you may notice I'm wearing a purple ribbon. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So, wear purple, purple ribbon, lots of them in the library. Also, it's our school colors, so they're good. Also, it's just like a good shade of purple. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Never say shit again next time. Okay. Senator Ide.
I'll yield to time. I'm just gonna yield. I'll just yield.
Time.
Alright.
Do we have any
Other announcements? Yes, Senator Anderson, followed by Senator Isaac.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to make a quick announcement that World Mental Health Day is this upcoming Friday, October 10th. And it's just a quick reminder to take care of ourselves and to check in on others. And let's help keep the conversation about mental health visibility on our campus alive.
All right, thank you. Any other? Yes, Senator Isaac.
Mine's real quick. I'm gonna be a panelist in the ULEAD on the 15th next week. That's at 5:30. It's a panel called "I Am Uncomfortable" about underrepresented leaders. So yeah, just go.
All right, thank you so much. For anyone who wants to join and watch our watch party for today's CSGO and Valorant match, we have free pizzas, free energy drink, and Western Call. It starts at 6. Any more announcements apart from this? All right, we'll begin with our roll call. First of all, Senator Livingston, Senator Hyber, Senator Kabad, Senator Dietrich, Senator Morris, Senator Reyes, Senator Sharaf, Senator Nguyen, Senator Anderson, Senator Zelmer,
Present.
Senator Cummings, Senator Hiluka, Senator Isaac, Senator Knauer, Senator Johnson, Senator Atkinson, Senator Stokes, Senator Hillstead? Oh, no. Proxy, yeah. Sorry. Senator Schoen.
Here.
Senator Ide.
Present.
Senator Liu. Senator Frost. Senator Wickersham. Vice President Kathleen.
Here.
President Caldron. And Speaker Thapa is present. So it's 5:41 and I officially call this meeting done.
Oh my God. They're gonna they're gonna be doing, sorry.
I was like, I'm prepped. And then he doesn't. And I'm like, oh.
Anyone who's hungry and wants free pizzas, go to Wisik. Charles does the blue stuff, like my brain. I don't wanna be that guy. So you got 25 bucks.
I know. It's 200 all for taking charges. Also,
I have to. No, I believe you. I need to do that.
I am a victim at this.
Alright, that's fine. So your damage should be shift focus.
Students don't panel with the county.
Yeah, one county, and then two, I would 110% try to focus on the things that they can do to make it easy. Because they're gonna do everything else.
Okay, so focus in on little like signs that they can put down.
Yeah, because they're gonna be updating the traffic lights, they're gonna be updating the pedestrian crossings, they're gonna be updating the road, they're gonna be paving the whole thing through, they're updating utilities, they're updating sidewalks, putting in bike paths,
So,
everything.
and so if they aren't, if they don't have, I'll
And we
review
paid
when you send your things out.
$500-ish, I guess.
I did.
Okay, your link has the document.
Oh,
okay, yeah.
Well, yeah, because my use those things that underrepresented students or get it to me and make use of those.
Okay, perfect.
I literally work across the county office
Yes, good, okay. Like I said,
They
people
also
are talking
know
about
me.
it now. People are talking about it.
They also know me from the election. I'm trying to use that as.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I can go wrong.
I don't know what. I'm in this road geek, so the second I heard let's 6 months after, I was like, at least.
Yeah,
Also,
let's
yes,
go.
to be on the room.
Yeah.
Okay. The fund for it's like 1.2 million and 500,000.
Okay.
Yeah, 600,000.
Yeah, awesome. I'm not.
Because there's more like.
Are you gonna?
Kind of you.